Each person sitting in those seats feels like they should win the trophy.
And the winner.
Felt like it took forever.
I kind of looked down to make sure my shirt wasn't moving because I felt like my heart was about to beat out of my chest.
In the closest vote in the history of this trophy, the winner is...
Get up there with the envelope and it says, from Michigan, Charles Woodson.
That pause and then to hear your name, you're a different person from that point on.
Eddie George. Cam Newton.
It's the most significant award you can win, period.
That moment stands alone.
The college football resume is complete, and each of the 4 Heisman contenders are awaiting their fate, each of them quarterbacks this season. Who will be the newest member of this very elite fraternity? We are here. We're ready to find out very soon. There's Stetson Bennett, Max Duggan right behind him, a lot of guys, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, walking in the building looking very sharp today. Which also very excited to see, kind of how and why they chose what they chose to wear. Okay, the Gucci suit.
Okay.
Did you see that? Caleb Williams has a Gucci suit on right now.
Would we expect anything less?
A slight flex. Just a
We'd
slight
expect
flex.
nothing
Welcome to the Heisman Show, presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. We're getting you set for the Heisman ceremony, which will be in about 30 minutes, but we're so excited to talk to so many former Heisman winners and obviously some people that are involved in the Heisman ceremony. As I mentioned, welcome to the Heisman Show presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, Christine Williamson and Kelsey Riggs in the building. I mean, this is amazing. It's amazing to be a part of this, isn't it?
This is amazing. It's such an honor to be here. I know it's such an honor for those 4 young men to be here and be moments away from finding out who will be this year's Heisman Trophy winner. And Christine, also for their family. It has to be such a cool moment to have your coaches, your family, all the people that have supported you this whole time walk into that room and sit down and be a part of this exclusive elite fraternity of men that we're going to get to speak to some of them in a little while. I'm just so looking forward to seeing who wins and what the night has in store.
I know, it's crazy. The college football season obviously coming to an end very shortly too. So it's just been a very exciting season. And there's been a lot of parity in this college football season. Let's take a quick look at the Heisman contenders who we're going to see tonight and just kind of how everything went down. So as we mentioned, we have CJ Stroud, Stetson Bennett, Max Duggan, and Caleb Williams. And this is the 4th time every player invited to New York has been a quarterback. It'll be the 42nd time a quarterback has won tonight. And since, obviously, we're talking about quarterbacks winning the Heisman, we actually have a very special guest. One that did win the Heisman, Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M in 2012. And this is a big night for a lot of these guys. I'm sure it was a very big night for you. What do you remember about the Heisman ceremony?
I remember being very, very nervous. Obviously this was the biggest stage I felt like I had ever been on in my life, coming from a small town in Texas to now you're looking out these windows, seeing New York City and being in front of the bright lights. It is special to be around these guys, and still, even for me, a guy who's been able to win the trophy, it's still very, very amazing to walk back in and see some of these former legends in here every year.
What are the feelings like when you do get to walk back in this room? Obviously, the nerves are a little bit different because you get to sit back and enjoy it and see some of the guys who have won it through the years. What's it like being back?
I think it's just family. This is like, a lot of people on Christmas get to see family maybe once a year, a couple times throughout the year. This, for us, is seeing people that, my family got to bond with when I was up here and came up here as a kid that still have a ton of relationships throughout the room. So it's just, for college football lore and college football in itself, this is as special as it gets.
So obviously there's 4 quarterbacks, as I mentioned, going into the Heisman ceremony.
We love that. We love
Of course, I was going to ask you, how do you feel? What do you think that means about the state of college football this season?
I'm a little biased, obviously, because of I'm being a quarterback. But I think every single guy that's up here obviously had a tremendous year. They are very deserving of being here. That's one thing that with this trophy they don't get wrong quite a bit is the guys who are here display great character. They're amazing football players. They're great leaders of their team, and a lot of that comes down to being the quarterback and being the position that you need to keep the team going. So it doesn't surprise me that there's 4 QBs here.
They are all so deserving, and it's been a fun year because there hasn't been one runaway favorite, which has really made, I feel like, every game seem even more and more important down the stretch. Do you have a favorite?
I think this is going to be a very, very tight race tonight. I think this is going to be within probably 100, 150, maybe 200 votes. So I really don't. I'm excited as you guys are to see how things shake out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Johnny,
No.
for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
A guy
Appreciate
that a
it.
lot of people think that might be in the forefront of this race is Caleb Williams. He is currently with our guy, Harry Lyles.
All right, we're here with Caleb Williams. Caleb, the last time we saw you out there on the football field, you were battling through that injury. You toughed it out. You and I talked about it previously about where that came from. Can you tell the people at home where that mentality came from?
Comes from my coaches when I was a little guy, and then it also comes from my dad, the toughness that he instilled in me, and then something that's just in me that I knew that I need to be out there with those guys. I felt like they needed me, and we didn't come out to win, but I was out there fighting for them and fighting for the win. But yeah, it's something that's instilled in me.
And you guys have done a lot in year one here at USC, right? I mean, you guys almost won the Pac-12. You're here at the Heisman ceremony. How good does it feel, one, to just be here, but then also knowing you have another chance next year to run it back?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It feels really good to be here. It's always been a dream of mine since I was a little guy. But now finally being here and one of these finalists, just very grateful. And a chance to run it back, like you said. Hopefully, that comes. But focus on right now in this moment, and if I get called up there, focus on not messing up my speech.
And tell me about the suit, and do we have anything on the fingernails tonight?
No, nothing on my fingernails. I knew I was going to be in a lot of suits and different type of suits and jackets, so went classy, went just manicure and things like that. And then the suit, it's a Adidas and Gucci collab with a leather tie and a cream shirt, some black loafers, but they're boots, which is really cool. So, yeah.
Well, hey, man, looking good. Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, we are now welcoming in Marty Smith, looking dapper, per usual.
I'm paying rent in y'all's world. You look amazing. You look amazing. What a wonderful night.
Yeah,
right?
It's a great night. A lot of people here, a lot of exciting interviews that I know that you're going to be doing. Okay, so when you think about this college football season, we've been talking about certain people kind of in the running for the Heisman, but there hasn't been like a runaway Heisman the entire season. What do you think that says about this college football season?
That there were a lot of great players and a lot of great football games. You're so right. Normally, there's someone that you look at and go, that's the guy who grabbed onto it in mid-season and never let it go. And we just didn't see that this year. You know, Hendon Hooker looked like the guy all year long.
Right.
Blake Corum up at Michigan had a tremendous season. I think he finished 7th overall in the voting. Hendon was 5th. And we have 4 young men tonight that just played out of their minds. And what amazing stories. We all know Stetson's story. We all know Max's story. And the thing that's interesting to me about Caleb specifically is, this is one thing I want to know from Lincoln Riley tonight, it's a lot to carry when you're a chosen one. I remember being at the NFL draft a couple years ago at Trevor Lawrence's draft party, and I asked him that, and I was shocked at his answer. I said, what's it like to carry the weight of being the chosen one? And he said, it's a lot heavier than you think.
Wow.
And so I'll be interested to hear Lincoln's perspective on that. But that young man right there just had an unbelievable season. He is such a talented person, and from a business person, he is light years ahead of most people at his age.
He has been so fun to watch. All of these guys have throughout the year. And you mentioned all the stories, and we love all the stories behind these football players. Marty, one of them that you know really well is Stetson. You've spent time with him throughout his career, and then especially before this year. What is it about him that you think has made him be so successful?
There is one Stetson Bennett. There is one. He is one of one, but he's so self-confident in exactly who he is, and not only as player but person. Now, granted, he's 25 years old,
right,
so he's had some time to grow into that. But when you are hardened by the disbelief of other people the way that Stetson has been, you show up, and he told me the first time I ever interviewed him that the only dream he had as a kid was to run out of the tunnel at Sanford Stadium at the University of Georgia and touch the grass. He just wanted to touch the Sanford Stadium grass, and now here he is tonight as a Heisman finalist. It's a movie. His life is a movie. It's going to be a book someday. I hope he lets me write it. Stet, call me.
Get that plug in now.
I do want to ask you, because you mentioned the disbelief that people have had in Stet.
Oh, yeah.
But when you think about Max Duggan, I mean, I know you're going to talk to him tonight. obviously there's been a lot of disbelief around him. I mean, he's a Big 12 quarterback at TCU, nonetheless. Obviously, they're in the CFP, so this is a really big deal for him. What have you seen out of him, and what are you excited to talk to him about tonight?
I'm excited to talk to him about why he didn't quit. Because, I mean, when you're a young man like that who went through heart surgery,
right,
who, you know, had that kind of setback that you just could never anticipate, and then you show up this year in your final season and expect to be the guy and lose your job, and you stand on the sideline and watch somebody else do your job, and then you write another movie. I mean, he's a movie as well. What he did in the Big 12 championship game, despite the loss, inspired anybody who loves college football. It was everything that's beautiful about this game we're so blessed to get to be immersed within. And I can't wait to meet his parents too, because I love learning from the parents, especially when it's stories like Stetson's or like Max's. What do you hope your son shows the world? Because we can all learn from that dogged determination that those two young men have.
Yeah. It is so fun to see not just the moments that the guys have, but also their families, because it's really a culmination of everything that they've done growing up. Marty, we've talked to you about all of them, but I also want to get your thoughts on CJ Stroud and his story, because to be back here again, I know just means so much to him.
His biggest growth and maturation this season was vocal leadership. You know, he has God-given talent, and I'm going to kind of bust Ryan's chops here after a while, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 2020, Ryan Day got a fine because he didn't go to the Home Depot awards show. Why? Because he was sitting in CJ Stroud's living room out in California recruiting that young man to come to Ohio State. And I would imagine that he considers the return on investment there to be pretty high, but phenomenal talent, just a great teammate, somebody that all those guys are really galvanized by and drawn to, and we just see the skill set. I think it's great for him to be here again. He earned it, and I can't wait to see these guys. I've not seen any of the players yet or coaches, so I can't wait to see them and spend some time in fellowship again on what's such a special night.
I do want to ask you really quickly, because we touched on Caleb Williams a little bit, and you mentioned Lincoln Riley. Now, Lincoln Riley is like, I feel like a lot of people could say like a quarterback guru. He's had Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, obviously, that have been here. What do you think about him? Exactly, Jalen Hurts. What do you think about him as a coach, is allowing him to churn out so many good quarterbacks?
I will steal from something that our great friend Robert Griffin told me earlier today. That is that Lincoln's system is conducive to these guys doing it, but it's really his willingness to let them be that guy. It's his willingness to turn that over to those guys and show me. Utilize that skill set you have, show us the preparation, and they put up unbelievable numbers. And the toughness that we saw from Caleb, I think even though they lost in the Pac-12 championship, I mean, to have done what he did on one leg was extremely impressive. And it showed just another dimension of that grit and the attitude that he has as a player. So I'll be fascinated to see how this thing turns out tonight. I know we all have opinions. I won't give mine.
Right.
I'll leave that to the other guys who make all the millions. But I just think I grew up in small-town Virginia watching the Heisman with my dad, right? And it's probably the most acclaimed individual award in all of American sport. And so just to have the opportunity to be here with you guys and all of our friends, and certainly the finalists, their families, coaches, and have the opportunity to be in this moment, I just can't believe it. I'll never get used to it.
You talked about pinch me moments before, and this is a pinch me moment. For some, it's a Heisman moment.
Yeah.
This is a pinch me moment, I think, for all of us to be here. When you walk away tonight, what do you remember the most? Is it a moment with the players? Is it the fellowship? What is it?
Having gotten to do it last year for the first time as part of the broadcast, I remember chatting with Bryce Young's father. Of course, Bryce Young won the award last year. And I was so taken with his father's meticulous analysis of his son's career and personality. And that told me so much about why Bryce Young is Bryce Young. And it could be argued right now, ladies and gentlemen, that that's the best player in college football.
Yeah.
Not here tonight, but it could be argued. Was last year, was celebrated for that last year. But when you learn the psychological strength that his father instilled in Bryce, it's no wonder that we see him absolutely unflappable, and there's never a stage too big.
Right.
That's what I really took away last year, and He creates this brotherhood, excuse me, for these guys that is eternal. They become a part of a family that is one of the most special that there is in sport. Just a real special time.
I like that you talked about Bryce because that kid, I mean, watching him play even Tennessee this year, watching him go down the field, he's calm, cool, collected. I actually told his parents before he won the Heisman last year that he was going to win the Heisman. I'm not like a psychic or anything. I'm not saying anything about this season. But thank you so much, Marty. It's always great to have you here.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the night. And I just can't wait to see who takes it home. Very special experience.
Awesome. Speaking of that, our guy, Harry Lyles, is with CJ Stroud right now.
All right, we're here with CJ Stroud, Ohio State quarterback. CJ, what do we got here with the chain, man? Tell me what we're working with here.
Yeah, man, just a little piece, a little something for myself, man. I got my mom and sister situated, so I feel like I can do something nice for myself and work with Zoe Frost and got this piece done. So I'm happy with it. I like it, but I think it does well with the suit, too.
It absolutely does well with the suit. And this is your second time here in a row. Is there anything that you learned from last year, and how has that changed your experience this year?
Yeah, man, I've been a lot more comfortable. So I've just been really comfortable in my own skin and kind of knowing when to go places and where to go, and kind of showing the other guys like how to do stuff. And it's kind of cool to be able to be here twice, and it's a big honor for me, and I'm super blessed to be in this position.
And obviously, you guys get a shot in the playoff. How much would it mean to win tonight, and then also be able to take home the trophy as well tonight?
It would be amazing. I would really just be appreciative, thankful. But if it doesn't go that way, I'll still be the same way. But I mean, that's the goal. But we got to see what God's plan is.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we now welcome in two former Heisman winners. We got Tim Tebow, 2007. RG3, 2011. Old. You are old.
Sorry. Is that great? Is it?
Yeah. Oh, no.
My wife says it's like salt and pepper now, though.
There you go. It's fine. It's fine. Just a little sprinkle. It's fine.
I mean, congratulations on your marriage. This is awesome.
Thank
you.
Thank you. He's funny.
He
said I'm going to talk, so I'm going to my wife.
Okay, got it. Wait, I know. I was a little confused. I was like, hasn't he been married? But I do want to talk about his socks. You guys might not be able to see these, but he does have on some Simba socks. Is there a reason for that? I mean, I know there is. So
yes, I have on some Simba socks here, if anybody can see, because we have a young cub coming into the Heisman House.
Hey.
So I want to welcome him with my socks as well.
I like it.
He's going to have to wash those socks, too.
I see what you did there.
At some point, we got to haze him a little bit.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, guys, I want to ask you this, and I'll start with you, Robert. When you think about, I mean, these guys just found out they were going to be at the Heisman ceremony. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions that comes with that. You guys have gone through the process. As you're going through the week, what is that kind of like leading up to this moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's nerve-wracking for all of them, but I think, they look at this season that they had, and they start thinking back on all the people that helped them get there, whether it was their coaches, their teammates. We've got some phenomenal stories here. Obviously, the House of Duggan with Max Duggan and everything that he went through, being the second quarterback after being a 3-year starter.
Crazy.
Stetson Bennett being a walk-on. There's so many things here, but all of them are ready to go be the next version of themselves, playing in their bowl game, going on to the NFL. I think all of that is coming to fruition right now, and you're going to see some emotion tonight from these candidates.
I just want to point out that we're looking at some Robert Griffin III highlights.
I'm shocked those
they
aren't
look
in black and
old,
white.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm shocked they're not in black and white.
It's such Destiny's awesome.
Tim, how about for you? You mentioned what it's like leading up to this, but when those guys walk in the room, you've got your family there, you sit down. Is that the moment where it really sinks in?
Surreal. It really is. I'm not sure if it's then or it's when you land in New York City and the Heisman Trophy Trust takes you around. And for me, it was my first time in the Big Apple, and it was overwhelming. And it just continues to build, right? It continues to build with all the people texting you and congratulating you and saying, good luck. Have you prepared a speech? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think I'm going to win, And then all of a sudden it builds and builds and builds. And then you walk in that night and, that's my mom and dad and my siblings. And my oldest sister just flew in from Bangladesh being a missionary there. And so I saw her for the first time. And you have your coaches and your friends and your family. And it just continues to build throughout the night. And then I remember during commercial break, one of the Heisman trustees comes out and he puts his hand over Mike and he's like, hey guys, and there's 4 of us. And he said, for you 4, one of you in just a moment will be introduced and remembered for the rest of your life as Heisman Trophy winner. And then I'm like, just ready to throw up. I was so nervous.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. We were just talking to Marty a little bit ago about, being a part of this fraternity and what it's like. What is that like? Because obviously it's something that we'll never get to experience. Can you explain to us, the people on the outside looking in, what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one of these guys every single year. And we get as many guys to come back as possible. So when you're at the Heisman House with Nissan, or you get to come to the ceremony and experience just all the greatness that there is, you'll always be a Heisman Trophy winner. There's no such thing as former Heisman Trophy winner.
Right.
So that you take pride with that. Everything that you do in life, what Tim's doing off the field now with his foundation, that is also part of the Heisman legacy. So I think these guys have to understand that how you represent yourself is a reflection of all of us.
That's right. I think it's very well said. And it's humbling, but yet honoring at the same time, because you look around and see greatness in so many of these winners and their families and their coaches and all the other people that invested for them to have that moment.
Yeah.
And that's something that is so humbling. And that's why one of my favorite things is at the end of shows or during commercial breaks is going up to the moms and saying congratulations. I hope you're just so proud of your son tonight. And you just see the joy, and it's just, honestly, it makes me emotional even when I get to hug some of those moms and you get to see it, because they invested so much for their son to be here. Listen, so many of these guys, we were able to be a part of some awesome teams, but none of that's possible without so much support, love, care, and encouragement, and sometimes maybe a little care.
Sometimes you need that, right?
right.
It's got to be a really indescribable feeling to be able to sit there and then hear your name called. And you mentioned his foundation and all the good work that he's doing. I want to talk about not just your foundation, but also your actual Heisman Trophy, because what you're doing with it is really cool. You auction it off every year to raise money. How did this idea come about? I love your faces. You're like, oh, yes, good idea.
Actually, I'm still very competitive, and how it came about was we were at an event, and we wanted to help it. It was for fallen soldiers and their family, and Nick Saban was auctioning something, and I was like, okay, we gotta beat Coach Saban.
Oh
Like,
my
let's go.
gosh.
And I was like, what can we
do?
possibly do? And it was a very wealthy room, and I thought, you know what? They have everything. What's something that they might not have? Well, you know what? Maybe they could, loan them the Heisman. And so actually Kathy Lee Gifford won it that night. And for a lot of money, over 100,000,
right.
that went to that charity, and we just continue to do it. And actually, last Tuesday we auctioned it off again for Nemours Hospital to help kids that are battling cancer, and it went for 150,000. And
so amazing.
we've been able to raise a lot and impact it, and just try to find amazing charities. And 2 years ago, Luke Bryan won it, him and his wife Caroline, and so they won it. But it was partially out of love and support, and it was partially out of, he's a big Georgia fan. And so when Florida played Georgia, he put like a Georgia jersey on top of it, and he put peanut butter on it and let his dog lick it off. And so but Caroline gave me his CMA of the Year award. And so we're kind of going back and forth with some jokes,
So they could sanitize and all that stuff in between auctions.
Hey,
Dogs
listen.
licking
He said, I don't ask any
Do
questions.
your worst,
You
all right?
get it. It's yours now. You paid $150. I
my
bet the organizers want you back every year, too.
Yeah, of course.
Of
Yeah,
that first event that you auctioned it
I
off.
was
They're
gonna
like,
say, I
bring
don't
that
have
back
a-
every
I
time.
don't have
You
a-
keep raising money.
What's going on with
I don't have as cool of a story
Nothing?
there. Mine is currently in my closet. But for the first 9 years, as we talked about the parents and how the families give so much to these players to allow them to be successful, I had mine with my mom in Texas.
I love that, too.
And the joy that she has coming back to these events. It's only my second time coming back, because when you're a player, it's very hard to get back here. But now working at ESPN.
And he was a player for a very long time.
Stop it. Now as a player, now working for ESPN and getting to do this, it's been fun to come back and really see the impact that this award has on the people that supported you. There's nothing like the people that were there for you when no one else was, seeing you go out and succeed.
And speaking of you coming back, though, I think you bring a really great spark and energy and excitement to it. So we love having you back.
That's awesome. Look at all the love going around.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I don't want to get your suit dirty.
We're in a very unique fraternity too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a sorority. Yeah, when I say fraternity, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, thanks guys. Obviously, always good to see you guys. There's a guy that really hopes to be a part of this fraternity as well. His name is Max Duggan. He's with our guy, Harry Lyles.
You're with Max Duggan now, TCU quarterback. Max, how's it feeling tonight?
It's awesome, great spot to be in, grateful to be here for represent my school and my university, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
We saw the passion out of you after the Big 12 title game and how much the game means to you. How much would winning tonight mean to you?
Yeah, it's something that, my family, my school, my teammates can be really proud of, because, it means a lot to them, and this award's for them, so, it represents all those guys.
And how much does it mean to you guys that you're getting a second shot here in the playoff, and especially how sweet would it be if you get to take this trophy home tonight?
Yeah, it means a lot, to go compete for a national championship, a two-game season in our eyes. So we know that we're going to have a great matchup against a tough Michigan team, but we're looking forward to it.
And obviously with your journey, you went from the starting quarterback to a backup back end. You even had the heart surgery as well. Just to even get to this point, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it just means so much to be able to be here, standing here, at the Heisman ceremony, playing the game that I love, I grew up doing. So I'm just really grateful to be here.
Good luck tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It is V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Our guy Harry Lyles is with Stetson Bennett.
All right, I'm here with Stetson Bennett, Georgia quarterback. Stetson, you have a chance to win a second national title in a row, and now you're here at the Heisman ceremony. You were a walk-on, you were a junior college back at Georgia. What does it mean to you to be here in this moment after everything that you've been through?
Well, I think it means that, I did my job. The rest of my team did their job. They're the one, they supported me. I think it was necessary and needed just for me to play my role. And we did that with the guys that we have, and good things happen.
When you were in Ellisville, Mississippi, did you ever think you would be here at the Heisman Trophy ceremony in this setting?
No, but I also didn't really limit myself, right? I didn't think about it, the possibility of it or anything like that. I was just worried about the day-to-day. I was worried about getting better tomorrow, the next day. It never really crossed my mind, no.
If you hear your name called, what would it mean to you?
I have no clue. I'm trying to keep that fresh. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, hey, good luck tonight.
All right, guys. Counting down the moments to the actual Heisman ceremony. It's going to be very soon, and I want to tell you guys just about all the things that we've seen. I mean, it's been a great night. Kelsey, I'll start with you. What has been the most exciting part of the night so far?
I think just seeing the build-up, to be able to be in this room and watch everybody walking through, see all the past winners, and then all the family members of these guys here, and just taking it all in. I can imagine the nerves once you actually walk to that door that is right over our right shoulder and go in there and see that scene that we just saw. It's really cool to take it in. And I'm sure, Harry, for you on the red carpet, it was really cool down there, too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, you talk about all the people that you see here.
Yeah.
Like, you see individuals and you see moments, you see highlights. And when we talk about these young men tonight, you can think about some of those similar moments, and we're going to have another person solidify their legacy tonight, and that's the coolest thing, right? Like, college football is all about the pageantry, the history, and we're seeing history tonight.
Yeah, we were watching the coaches walk in. I was like, Ryan Day, you want to come chat with us? Kirby Smart, you want to come chat with us? They said no.
Interesting.
They didn't even see us. They were beelining.
I was like,
we got to get our spot. We got to be ready for our guys.
Lyles, who was your favorite person to talk to on the red carpet?
I mean, well, best outfit, I think, was CJ Stroud,
For
right?
sure.
I mean,
Okay.
with the chain and everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were all great, and they're all great because, they're all their different individual personalities, though I think Caleb was probably the best interview.
She liked his outfit the best. I guess.
It was great, yeah.
Listen, I have told you guys, I'm obsessed with Caleb Williams. I don't care. Okay? I'm a USC fan. It's great. Do you think he's going to win the Heisman?
Fair enough. I do think Caleb's going to win.
Were his nails painted?
They were not.
Oh,
they were clear.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe because the last time he painted his nails with a certain message,
It didn't go as well.
It didn't go well.
What was the message?
The season went well,
Oh,
though.
fine.
The season went very well.
Okay, so you got Caleb as
I got
winning the
Caleb.
Heisman?
I got
Who
Caleb.
do you have winning the
I think
Heisman?
it's Caleb as well.
I mean, you guys know where I stand on this. But this has been fun. You guys, we got to dress up.
Yes.
You look great. You
It's
look great. We haven't
behind
told
us.
you.
Everybody's all in there.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys for watching the Heisman Show presented by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. We're going to wrap this thing up by watching bloopers from the Nissan Heisman House commercial shoot. Take a look at this. We'll see you guys later.
Welcome. When you take an initiative. It's not this guy's first time.
I screwed that one up.
It's all right. Too much spin.
Tuck it in. Pancake security.
When the Felix Catastrapezium meets the Abdullah Oblongata. Let's go, you owe me $20!
Oh, yeah. I fell asleep, man. Fell asleep over here. Sorry.
That's how you Heisman.
One of you guys give me a ride? I mean, everyone was calling me professional, and I messed up the first line. I blame you guys.
You gotta give me more, dog.
What you want me to put some emphasis?
Please.
I still feel pretty big.
good. Timing and everything. Woo!